Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2, act 2 of my Path of Exile Corrupting Fever Let's Play Delio. I want to prefix this video by apologising for the slurping you're probably going to hear. I literally just sat down with the coffee, so I apologise in advance. There are a couple of things I wanted to cover, one being the fact that I kept calling it Corrupting Cry in yesterday's video. And it's not, it's Corrupting Fever. I only realised that because I picked up one of the skill gems, I think in Act 2. And yeah, so I apologise for that. As far as the editing of the video is going, I'm starting to get a little bit quicker. Now, bear in mind this is coming from someone who has zero background when it comes to working with any form of video and how cuts work and things like that, so I'm just kind of learning what a J cut is and what an L cut is, and not that I need them at the minute for the sort of style of video that I've gone for, but you know, it's always good to know, right? A day you spend learning is never a day wasted, so they say. So as far as the playthrough itself, like I said, I've just finished Act 2? No? Yes? Yeah, I'm in Act 3. Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to record anything yesterday because I recorded that video quite late. Not that I recorded it late, I edited it quite late, and like it took me all day to sort of... I get this weird... I suppose you could call it analysis paralysis, I think is what the term people use, where you sort of... You try and research something so much that it sort of gives you this anxiety when you try to actually accomplish whatever task it is. So I'm kind of guilty of that, I think, where I literally watched video after video for a week solid of just, you know, how to edit videos and you know, cuts and transitions and things like that, which, as you see through these videos, it's not good video editing. I'm using a cross dissolve and then sort of chopping up the footage and things. I would like to maybe get some more transitions for Premiere. That'd be kind of cool, I think. For anyone curious, the program of choice is Premiere Pro, because I used to do a lot of photography, so I already had like the Creative Cloud with Lightroom and Photoshop and things like that. So yeah, but learning a new skill as someone who's older, I suppose, is kind of intimidating. I kind of wish I could go back to when I was like 16 to 18, where I could just look at a book and it'd be like, oh yeah, that's the thing, I've done it, easy, and move on. But unfortunately, I think that's certainly not something I'm capable of doing now. I do it a lot with competitive games. Like, I love playing Overwatch. Overwatch is like my game of choice the majority of the time. Not that I've played it in a while, but I started getting like ladder anxiety, where I got really anxious and didn't want to queue and things like that, and I've never suffered with anything like that before, so it's kind of strange. But I've definitely got to get out of this sort of analysis paralysis mindset, because it's definitely not as intimidating once you sort of start doing something, right? The anxiety of the anticipation, I suppose, is probably a better word, is probably worse than the actual task itself. But I've been enjoying editing the videos. I know, like I said, it's not a 5-star Hollywood scale editing, but it's been kind of fun, especially when I can carve out those little moments through the day where I can just sit for 15 minutes, 20 minutes at a time and just get through the majority of something. I think this video took like half hour without sort of factoring in, it took half hour to actually cut up and do the footage, and then I record obviously the voiceover, so that takes the full length of whatever the video will be. In this case it's like 12 minutes. As far as Act 2, I like Act 2. Act 2 is probably one of my favourites just because it's so linear. You kind of just follow a path, kill things, follow a path, kill things, and I'm okay with that. It's when you go into like massive maps and it turns you around and there's 17 different locked doors or whatever, you know, dead ends and things. That's where it sort of gets annoying, but Act 2 is definitely up there. At the minute, it takes me around an hour per act So this is probably gonna turn out to be like a 10-hour playthrough for me, obviously for you. I took the footage, I think was 55 minutes today, and edited it down to, well, the 12 minutes you see, and I cut out a lot of like standing still, not doing anything. It's crazy because when you watch your footage back, you realise how much time you actually spend just doing nothing. Like, I'm trying my best, but yeah, I really slowed everything at the minute. As far as deaths, I think I got two in this act. I could be wrong. They should be on script. I think it's 2. I don't know. I will sort of every other episode maybe I'll slash deaths so you can see, because I know some people enjoy that sort of, oh my gosh, you've died like 400 times and the acts are not even finished. So yeah, I wouldn't mind, you know, maybe in a future playthrough I'll do like a death counter, like a real-time, once my editing skills are up there, a real-time death counter. What you're not seeing in the footage is just basically me in town selling things, getting gems. If you want, I'll post a picture of my current skill tree, and in the description below will probably be a link to the actual guide that I'm following, so it'll all be in there. But I'm using the Path of Building community fork to like import the build, and then I'm following that, so that's probably part of the reason it's taking so long, is because I'm standing there in game and I'm obviously checking the Path of Building and whatnot. So yeah, if I was actually skilled at the game, it would certainly be a quick process, to say the least. As far as bosses go, my least favourite in this playthrough anyway is Brutus. Brutus just annoys me for some reason. I don't think he's difficult, I think he just annoys me. As far as this dude, the whatever he's called, Act 2 boss, he's not so bad. Once you can sort of dodge the beams and stuff, he's fine. But I'm just, like I said, I'm a noob at the minute. As far as bosses in general, my worst boss I think is Blackstar. I hate that boss fight. The mechanic of the floor, it's a cool little mechanic. Like, there's nothing wrong with the mechanic. I just suck at maneuvering that arena, for lack of a better term. It kind of reminds me, there used to be a dungeon in Destiny. Dungeon? Are they called dungeons? Are they called raids? I can't remember. Where it was like dark and light. It kind of reminds me of that mechanic. God, I haven't played Destiny in so long. And they've just released a new expansion, right? But as far as schedule goes as well, I'm gonna try and get one out at least 3 times a week. I think that would be an achievable goal. I will obviously try more, but I think 3 times a week is probably something, like I said, that I can achieve, whereas 5, 6, 7 times a week is probably something that I'm not going to be able to do. You know, where it's like sometimes you just get home and no, I'm good, I'm just going to bed. But no, so far so good. I screwed up my sockets. I don't know if you'll notice because the cuts are so fast, but I screwed up my sockets at one point during Act 2, and volley wasn't proccing. So I was doing like, I don't know, 3 times less damage, because volley gives you 3 projectiles. Or 2 times less damage. Something of that nature. I did figure it out towards the end. I've probably left the clip in at the end where I'm sort of confused. But no, it's been fine. There's definitely a death to this boss. Yeah. So, what else did I want to say? This is the problem. See, I just go off on tangents, and then I just ramble and rant. Like 90% of this video has been me talking about video editing, whereas I feel like I should be talking about Path of Exile. As far as Corrupting Fever itself, I have read that you use Spectral Throw up until Act 9, I believe, Act 8, and then you switch. So that's kind of going to be cool, because I'm starting to get used to the throw mechanic of it all. where you need to aim it at, certain... If you've got a massive pack, you don't want to be throwing them to the left or the right of the pack. You want to be throwing them into the pack, right? I'm starting to understand that a little bit, I've noticed, which is cool. As far as Spectral Throw itself, the skill is good. It's such a good skill. I can't wait until I can do the switch at Act 9 or whatever and get the wand and actually see how good Corrupting Fever is. I may go into the PoE trade website, and if I do, I'll record it probably. I might go into the PoE trade website and purchase maybe like a 5 link, because they're probably cheap enough. I did pick up a Chaos Orb in Act 1, so I might be able to pick one up, just a 5 socket, maybe a 5 link. Just for the, try and smooth out the leveling process a little bit. I might even look for a decent weapon. There's probably something there. Which would be... I did pick up a sword. I don't know if... No, I picked up a 4-link sword as I was running to the Act 3 town. So that sword that I've just picked up, or that I picked up when I killed the boss, I don't keep that. I get a 4-link. And that's basically going to be it. So again, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you next time.